How's it going, everybody? This is Darrin with GuitarControl.com bringing you this video lesson, and today I've got 3 iconic fingerstyle riffs for you. So right now Guitar Control is giving away this free chord chart. There's a link down in the description where you can get yours. Every chord you could ever need, all neatly compiled into one sheet. It's in PDF format. So print it off, throw it in your gig bag, put it where you practice, so that way you can have any chord you could ever need at a glance. And it's a free download. So be sure to click on the link in the description for the tabs, and let's get close up and take a look at these. Alright, so the first one we're going to look at is Riff from Dust in the Wind. Now this also is a real, in fact, the first two here we're looking at are really good exercises just for both of your hands for fingerstyle guitar. So this first one here, we're going to start off on Dust in the Wind. We've got a C chord. So on this we're going to be playing we're not going to be playing the low E string or the high E string. So your thumb will be playing the A string, your first finger will be playing the D string, your second finger will be playing the G string, and your third finger will be playing the B string. So we start off, we're going to go thumb and third finger together, and then first, second. So it's, if you know P-I-M-A, it's P-A-I-M-P-A-I-M-A. Now when we go to the second measure, we go to a C add 9. So all we're going to do is take our pinky and put it down here onto the third fret of the B string. But you want to keep that first finger handy because we're going to be going back to the C. So that's like the first two measures. Okay, then on the third measure, we're going to go to an A suspended 2. So basically, if you just move your third finger down to the second fret of the G string like you're making an A minor, and then just take your first finger off. So that's starting on the third measure. Then halfway through that, we're going to go to an A suspended 4. So we're just going to keep this shape here, but we're going to put our pinky down here onto the third fret of the B string. And then to A minor, A suspended 2, and then we're back to C add 9. C major 7, so we just take our first finger off, back to the C add 9, to A minor, A suspended 2, so we just take our first finger off, A suspended 4, back to A minor, and then those are the little pickups to go into the vocal part there. So that's like basically the intro. Alright, and the next one I'm going to look at is Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You by Led Zeppelin. So this one here starts off with A minor, and it's got kind of a similar thing that was happening with Dust in the Wind, but more in the lower strings. We'll see here in a second. So we start off with the A minor. So we go A, D, B, E. So we're going to go P, your thumb plays the A string, and here there's a couple, you could go P and then I to pick up the D string, or you could just do your thumb and then your first and second finger to pick up the B and high E string, or your third and fourth. So I kind of either way, but when I get up here to the high E string, I use my second and third finger just because, you know, as a general rule, you can just keep, you know, your fingers together, and on a lot of songs just move the shape, you know, up or down a set of strings. So. So A, D, B, E, A, D, G, B. Okay, so that's our first measure. Now we're going to go to an A7 suspended 4 over G, so it sounds all crazy and stuff, but all we're going to do is just take our third finger and move it from here on the second fret of the G string. We're going to move it down to the third fret of the low E string. And then our first finger, we're going to still keep it here to go to the first fret, but we're going to also have our pinky here to go on the third fret on the B string. So we got... So E, D, G, B. So my thumb, first, second, third, and then we're going to do that again, but we're going to move the note on the B string from the third fret to the first fret. So that's our first two measures. Then we're going to go to a D over F sharp. So how I like to do for this one is I just, going from here, I move my middle finger from the second fret of the A string to the second fret of the low E, and then bring my third finger up to the second fret of the G string, and then I can use my pinky again to pick up the third fret of the B. So that's the first half of that third measure. Now we've got it's D7 over F sharp. So all we're going to do is take our pinky off and our first finger's on the first fret of the B string. So that's our first three measures. And then the very last one, we just go to an F major bar chord, and we're going to play 6, 4, 3, 2. So P, I, M, A. And then you can just slide down and make it an E major, same picking. And then it would just start over again. All right, and then the last one we're going to look at is the Trees by Rush. So this is kind of weird because it's in 6/8. But it's just using a bunch of just chords that you probably already know, but there is a lot of bar chords. So if you're fairly beginner, you probably have issue with bar chords, but this is another one. It's kind of a great exercise. So we're going to start off with D, and we're going to play the high E and the D string together. So my thumb's playing the D string, and my first finger's playing the G string, second on the B string, and third on the high E. So we got 1 and 2. So D and E together to B to G, and then we're going to take our middle finger off. E, B, whoops, back to the D string. So. Then we're going to go to an F sharp major. So we're going to bar all the way across the second fret, second finger onto the third fret of the G string, third finger onto the fourth fret of the A string, and fourth finger onto the fourth fret of the D string. And now we're going to do that same timing, but now we're going to do the low E and the high E together to the B string, and then to the D string, back to the high E, and then the B and D string together. Now we're going to go to a C sharp minor. So we're going to move up. We can just take this shape and move it up a whole step. So now you're barring at the fourth fret, and then move all of your other fingers up a string each. So that'll bring your second finger to the fifth fret of the B string, and your third finger to the sixth fret of the D string, and your fourth finger to the sixth fret of the G string. And so A and E together, high E, to the G string, B string, high E, back to the B. And then end on the A string. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now we're going to go to an A major. So we're going to shift up 1 fret this time, and now we're going to take these fingers and move them back down. So now we move our middle finger to the G string, 6th fret, and our 3rd finger to the 7th fret of the A string, and our 4th finger to the 7th fret of the D string. And the picking for this one is the same as it was on the 2nd measure, except this time instead of hitting the B and D string together, we're supposed to hit the D, or the B and the A string together. Then we're going to go to a E major, so we're going to come all the way down here. So we're going to go E and E together to the G string. So the G string with your 1st finger, the B string 2nd, high E with your 3rd finger again, back to the B string, and then the D. To a G. So on the G, both E strings together, to the B string, to the G string, and then we're going to switch to an A major, so the A and B string together, D, G, then a B minor. So the B minor is just the same as the C sharp minor we did before. We're just moving it down a whole step, so you're barring at the 2nd fret instead of the 4th fret. And we're going to play the A, D, G, and B strings simultaneously. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we pluck them together, 1, and then we rest on the end of 1. And then we do it again on the downbeat of 2. And then on the end of 2, we're going to take our 1st finger off, and we're going to pluck just the A, D, and G string, and then hammer our middle finger, our 1st finger back to the 2nd fret, and then pluck the whole chord again, and that's on the end of 3. And then on the last measure, we just hit it again, and it rings out for the whole thing. So. Alright, so there you have it, 3 iconic fingerstyle guitar riffs. So if you like this lesson, be sure to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this or other guitar-related topics. If you've not already done so, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we upload throughout the week. Well, that is all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.